Hi, this is Thor, the moderator, and I am here in Philadelphia. And I am with Nurit Shein, who is the executive director of the Mazzoni Center. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Well, thanks for having us. And I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about the Mazzoni Center, the Mazzoni Center, and what it does here in Philadelphia.
Well, Mazzoni Center started in 1979, so we're about 33 years old, and it really started as a gay men's health organization and then became an AIDS organization when in the early 80s and on to the 90s when the AIDS epidemic was at its highest. So as the epidemic progressed, we kind of added departments. Mm-hmm. So we started with education, and then we continued with HIV testing. We progressed to case management, the food bank, housing, body services. And then in the 90s, we kind of went back to LGBT health, with HIV and AIDS still the focus, but within the larger context of LGBT health. We have a very robust line of services, and we now have a medical center, which we didn't have in those days. And we have a very strong behavioral health component with drug and alcohol, outpatient, and therapy. We have housing, we still have the food bank, we have very large case management, and we also added legal services to the array of services that we provide for the LGBT community. Now, the philosophy of this organization is that nobody is turned away for lack of funds to pay for the services, because we believe that everybody is entitled to the best care that this community can provide them. So that's kind of what we do here. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of hard work, and I'm very blessed to have wonderful, wonderful people working with me.
With no person being turned away for an inability to pay, how is the organization funded?
Well, we're funded through everything that we can get our hands on, first of all. So we have direct federal funds, we have funds that come from the state, we have funds that come from the city. So a lot of public agencies fund us. We have a very hard-working development department that writes a lot of grants and a lot of individual grant solicitation and corporate. So we really, the balance is between public agencies, philanthropic organizations, and our own community that gives back to an organization like ours. Our name came from Dr. Peter Mazzoni, who was a volunteer and our first medical director in the 80s, and unfortunately he died of AIDS in 1990. We named actually the testing clinic, the HIV testing clinic, after him as the Mazzoni Clinic, and then later on kind of enlarged it into Mazzoni Center, because everybody knew what Mazzoni Clinic was or is, and so now we are Mazzoni Center, because we do that much more than just HIV testing.
Oh. Now, with this organization, do you have any key partnerships here in Philadelphia that help you to thrive and survive?
Yes, absolutely. Well, from the medical point of view, we're very closely associated with Jefferson, and we are also obviously associated with the Department of Public Health of the City of Philadelphia. Family planning, all the organizations that are public organizations. From point of view of philanthropic organization, the Philadelphia Foundation, the William Penn Foundation, which are two large foundations here in Philadelphia, support. The Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure supports us with our initiative for breast cancer for women. So yes.
Well, now I noticed when I came in today, I came to the 8th floor, and there was what seemed like an intake office there.
Well, the main reception is on our 8th floor, and quite a number of the services are given there. We also occupy the 12th floor of this building. We also have a presence in the middle of what we call the Gayborhood, which is a storefront where we do most of our counseling and testing, HIV. And we have a whole facility that is just the medical facility.
We talked about how you're funded. And I know with a lot of organizations, and perhaps this one as well, throughout the year there are fundraising events that take place. And oftentimes that's where somebody first gets introduced to an organization or gets a peek into the door. And I'm curious, what type of events do you have for this organization?
Well, we essentially have one big event, our gala, which is it's called Elixir, and it's kind of a cure for the common gala. So it's much less stiff. It's much more relaxed and fun. We do it every year. This next year it's going to be May 18th, 2013, here in Philadelphia at the Lowe's Hotel. And it's really honoring people who have an impact on the LGBT community and the movement, and specifically the health movement. So it's an opportunity to just get together, have fun, and recognize some people. And usually it's an event that brings in not just our community, but our straight allies as well. And to me, I think making bridges into the larger community is very, very important. Now, besides Elixir, we have something which is wonderful, and it's called Night of 1,000 Friends. And we get 1,000 of our friends to host parties in their own home or take people out, and the proceeds from those parties come to us. Which is wonderful because we don't have to do a lot of work, and people invite people to their own home and just say, hey, I'll cook dinner, you donate $50.
Ah, that's wonderful. What resources are here if someone's visiting?
Well, if somebody needs, let's say, some medical care and stuff like that, obviously we're here. There is the William Way Community Center, which has a lot of social events. So that is another wonderful resource that is here. There is a very distinct neighborhood along 13th Street with a lot of shops, bars, entertaining places for entertainment, and so on. So there's a lot to do in the city of Philadelphia, and we are just one of the resources, essentially concentrating on social services and medical care. So.
And thinking about the social services and the medical care, when somebody comes here for those services, does this become their primary source, or is it more of an emergency source, or?
No, our medical facility is your doctor's office. It's a family medicine. So yes, you choose your doctor as our facility as your doctor, and this becomes your, not just for emergency care, but for everyday care.
So your primary care physician would be here.
Yes.
And then if you have insurance and if you have resources,
absolutely.
It would work like any other primary care physician,
Yes.
except for that it's specifically one that acknowledges, embraces the LGBT community.
And is more knowledgeable about issues of LGBT. Yes, we are credentialed with almost every insurance possible, and we take every insurance, including public insurance. So, and I really would say we are more knowledgeable about issues and less judgmental, and therefore I think it's a much healthier environment where patients and clients can really talk to the provider and be themselves.
Now,
we did a survey on lesbian health, and we found out that still 30% are not out to their providers. So how can the provider provide good care if the conversation is not happening?
So having that authentic conversation with your doctor is something that can be done here.
Yes.
Now, thinking about gay health, lesbian health, certainly HIV/AIDS is certainly in the news and has been in the news for years, and oftentimes that's what what people who aren't in the LGBT community might think of first when they think of LGBT health. And I'm just curious, are there any other key health concerns that kind of are on the forefront of your efforts that you're really working to increase awareness and better address?
Well, issues that face specifically LGBT people are certain types of cancer, colon cancer for men, breast cancer for women. There's issue of tobacco use in the gay community that is skyrocketed compared to the general population. Drug and alcohol issues because of stigma and stress and years of oppression is higher. With the lack of insurance and access to health care is becoming a problem for the LGBT community. So there are specific issues that are more prominent in the LGBT community because of behavior and because of lifestyle and because of access to care. And once you recognize that, the care becomes a different kind of approach to caring for the individual.
Well, is there anything else that you would like people to know about your organization that perhaps we haven't touched on?
Well, maybe I'd like to say thank you to everybody who works with me, because an organization is truly the sum of the people who work there. And we have exceptional staff members who really, this is not a place that people come to work. This is a place that people believe in and want to work and want to make a difference in the world. And I think every single individual who works here holds this philosophy that they really want to add to the better of the world.
Thank you very much for participating in the interview. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.